Yeah, so we start at chapter 7. Let me open the online textbook. Okay. I think already open it. So, this chapter 7. Okay, so you can see chapter, I think you remember the chapter 1 to chapter 6. We only discuss about, we call it the uh, descriptive, descriptive statistics. Okay. So now we will discuss about, we call it inferential statistics. You know, for the this descriptive statistics only discuss about collecting data, organize the data, and represent the data. You know, for the qualitative data, you represent the data as graph, pie chart, archive, Pareto chart, something like that, right? Okay. No, I think not archive, I think Pareto chart. For the quantitative data, you can represent as uh, yeah, bar chart, also frequency distribution table, and also you can represent as Pareto, what do you call it? Archive, right? Archive. You know that if you have a cumulative frequency, you can throw with archive. Okay. And what else? I think you can also represent as Fock and whiskers or Fock plots. And what else? Yeah, so just interrupt me if you have any question. Okay. Okay, so we can start with chapter 7 with one sample inference. Uh, so there are two branches of inferential statistics, which is hypothesis testing and also confidence intervals. Okay. So first is we will discuss about what is hypothesis testing, which is making a decision about parameters based on statistics. Okay. And for the confidence interval, we will estimate a parameter or parameters based on statistics. Okay, okay, let's start with what is hypothesis testing. Okay. So hypothesis testing is you know you need to, in order to do the hypothesis testing, you need to understand of how actually the hypothesis testing is like an educated guess about parameter. Okay. So when you have the hypothesis, when you have the hypothesis, you collect the data and use the data to make determination to see if there is enough evidence to show that the hypothesis is true. Okay. So in hypothesis testing, you actually assume that something else is true, right? And then you look at your data to see how likely it is to get an event that your data demonstrate with that assumption. Okay. So so if the event is very unusual, then you might think that your assumption is actually false. Okay. If you are able to say this assumption is false, then your hypothesis might be true. Okay. So like you have a hypothesis. I think we call it. You need to put the null hypothesis, and also you need to put like alternative hypothesis. Okay. So, this is the example. Okay. So suppose that a manufacturer of XJ35 battery, something like that, claim that the mean life of the battery is 500 days, okay, with a standard deviation of 25 days. So you are a buyer of this battery and you think this claim is inflated. Okay. So you might like to test your belief because without a good reason you cannot get out of your contract, right? Okay. So what do you do? We will first, you should know what you are trying to measure, right? So you need to define what the, the random variable. So in this case, we assume that let the x is equal to the life of XYZ battery, right? And now you are not just trying to find the different x value, you are also trying to find what the true means is. Okay? So since you are trying to find it, it must be unknown, right? So you don't need to think that it is 50 days, 500 days. Okay? So if you did, you wouldn't be doing any testing, right? Okay. So the true mean here is mu using a Greek alphabet mu, okay, which is unknown, okay, and that means you should define that too, right? Okay, so let's u equal to the mean life of the battery. Okay, now what? You may want to collect a sample, right? So what kind of sample? So uh, so you could ask the manufacturer to give you batteries, but there is a chance that there could be some bias in the battery defect, right? Okay, so to reduce the chance of the bias, it is best to take a random sample, right? Okay, and also you need to think about how big you should the sample be, right? Um, let's see, maybe you can do some take the sample like 30 battery. So you know the bigger the sample will be better. Okay. So let's take the sample size like 30, right? Okay. And this is the data that you collected from that you collected for the battery life. Okay. And so after you got the data, what you should do in order to prove that the claim is correct, whether the claim is correct or not, right? So if you're looking at the data, right, you can see the number is not really difficult to understand. Right? So what do you need to do? I think you need to do is first is looking for what is the sample mean. Okay. So in this case, the sample mean is you can use the calculator. Okay. So I think we already recalculate this. The mean is equal to 490 days. Okay. Um, And also you need to calculate what is the standard deviation here. Okay, so once you find the mean, right? Okay. So in order to set up the hypothesis, you have two kind of hypothesis. The first is we call it the null hypothesis, or we call it the historical value claim or product specification. Right? So we use the symbol as H0 here. Zero is actually represent the null. And then alternative hypothesis. This is what you want to prove. Okay. This is what you want to accept as true when you reject the null hypothesis. Okay. There are two symbols that commonly used for alternative hypothesis. This is use is subscribe capital A, right? Or it's 1. Okay. So in this book, we use the it's subscribe capital A. Okay. So this is the hypothesis. Okay. So the null hypothesis. Yeah, usually for the null hypothesis can be using the equal sign here. It can be equal, less than and equal, or greater than equal, something like that. Okay. But this one is always using unequal. For example, like less than or greater than or unequal. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And so in this case, the manufacturer is claimed that the battery life is 500 days. Okay. And the alternative hypothesis, you can, in this case, we choose the alternative hypothesis is like less than 500 days. Okay. Okay, so now back to the mean, right? So you have the mean as 490 days, right? So it is small enough to believe that you are right and the manufacturer is wrong. Okay. How small does it have to be? Okay. So if you calculate the sample mean of 225, so it is clear that this is less than, right? But this is also, if you calculate the sample size, the sample mean is 435. This also, so in this case, you need to prove that this how small is this, okay, compared with the claim. Okay. So in this case, you need to find what is the probability for less than 450 and compare with the claim. Okay. Yes, you can see here the claim is like 500, so like in the middle here. Okay. And so if you want to change this to the standard normal distribution, you need to find what is the z-score here. Okay. So in this case, the z-score is using this formula, right? Okay. And so the z-score we call it the test statistics. Okay. And using the z-score, you can find what is the p-value, okay, or the probability that the test statistic will take on more extreme value than the observed test statistic, right? Even that the null hypothesis is true. Okay. So this probability that was calculated above. Okay. So here, so there are two type of error here. So if you reject the hypothesis, if you reject the null hypothesis, and then if actually the null hypothesis is true, so this we call it a type 1 error. Okay. And the other one is if the hypothesis is false, it's no error. Okay. And also if you fail to reject if this is hypothesis true, so there's no error. But this is if the hypothesis is, if the null hypothesis is false, so we call it the type 2 error. Okay. So the type 1 error, type 2 error is like this. So the type first error is it rejecting the is null or null hypothesis. Okay, when the hypothesis is true. Okay. But and then for the type second error, it is failing to reject the null hypothesis when the hypothesis is false. Okay. So you have to remember these two type of error. Okay. So the first one is you reject, but actually the null hypothesis is true, and the type of second error is the reject, but actually this is false. Okay. So you need to avoid this two type of error. Okay. Yeah, we call it alpha and beta. Okay, so the alpha is the level of significance, the level of significance. Okay, and another common concept of this is power. The power is equal to the 1 minus beta. So you can see between alpha and beta, there are not complementary of each other. Okay. But you need to understand how they correlated. So let's go to this. The summary of all it is one, for a certain sample size, and if alpha increase, the beta decrease. Yeah, if on an of a certain level of significant alpha, if we n increase, so the beta is decreased. So as you can see here, the alpha is, the beta is really very difficult to find, right? So usually we use alpha to do the hypothesis testing. Okay. Yeah, typical error one is usually usually leave bad. Okay, so if the type one error is really bad, so maybe you can pick like alpha 0.01. Okay. And if the type of error type 2 error really bad, so maybe you need to pick the alpha equal to 0.1. Okay. If neither, so maybe you can pick like in between these two, right? So you can pick like 0.05, 0.05. Okay. Mm. So let's go back to the battery sample again. Okay, so in order to do the testing, we can use this set. Okay, first we need to find what is the random variable that you use. Okay, and also the parameter. Okay, and the second one is you need to state the null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis. Okay. And also you can pick what is the alpha or the level of significance. Okay. And the third one, you need to state and check the assumption of the hypothesis for a hypothesis test. Okay. Yeah, in this case, the random sample size that is taken is like 30 by 3, right? Okay. And the population standard deviation should be known. And the sample size is at least 30, okay? Or the population of the random variable is randomly distributed. Okay? I mean, normally distributed. So you have to assume that the random variable is normally distributed. So in this case, the sample size 30 is okay. And the fourth step is you need to find what is the sample statistics. So in this case, is the sample statistic, the test statistic, and also the p-value. Okay. Okay, so we already calculate the mean is equal to 450, and the statistic you can use this formula to find it. Okay. So you put like the mean, which is the population mean, and I mean the claim also. So the claim also is the mean that they claimed by the manufacturer. So and then we have the standard deviation, and also you have the sample size. So you get the C score or the test statistics. And you need to put this number in the calculator. Also, you can put in the Excel, okay, to find what is the p-value or the probability value. And then make a conclusion. Okay. So if the p-value less than the alpha or the level of significance, okay, so that is a lot smaller than the amount of error, right, that you would like to accept, which is alpha equal to 0.1. So that means finding the sample mean less than 480 days is unusual. Okay? Unusual to happen if no hypothesis is true. So in this case, we should reject the null hypothesis. So this is like this. We reject the null hypothesis if the p-value less than alpha. Okay? And we fail to reject the hypothesis if the p-value greater than alpha. Okay? So the interpretation of this is if we reject the null hypothesis, that means the claim by the manufacturer that the mean life of the battery is 500 days. So we said, yeah, so we need to reject the hypothesis, right? So since we reject the claim that the battery life, the mean of the battery life is 500 days. So now we believe that our hypothesis is correct, right? Okay, so in other words, there is enough evidence to show that the mean life of battery is less than 500 days. Okay. Right. So because we fail to reject the 500 days, so our claim is correct, right? So we have enough evidence to show that the mean life of battery is less than 500 days. So the claim for the manufacturer, we put as the null hypothesis, and our claim is we put as the alternative hypothesis, which is less than 500 days. So yeah, so this is the step that you need to do for any hypothesis test. Okay, so you have how many steps here? We have 6 steps. Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps. Okay. Yeah, so only there are to only reject or fail to reject. Okay. Yeah, I think there is a conclusion here. Yeah, so for section 2.1, this is one sample proportion test. Okay, so there are two kind of. The first one is this one is the yeah. So 7.1 is a you call it basic hypothesis testing. Okay, so what is the step that we need to do in order to do hypothesis testing? Okay, remember you have a 6 step, right? Okay, and the first application is for the hypothesis testing is we can apply to this problem. Yeah, we call it one sample proportion test. Okay. One sample proportion test. Actually, the example is a sample one sample mean test. I think for the third one, right? Yeah. Yeah, one sample test for the mean. Okay. So that, for the I mean for section 3 or section 7.3. Okay. Okay. So yeah. So the step is will be the same. Okay. So for the proportion test is you need to find what is the number of success and what is the p of the proportion of success. Okay. Uh, you know the x is the sample and the p is the proportion of success. So like so in this case you need to find the p using uh, the sample size. Okay. Yes, it's done here. Okay. So you need to find what is the p hat here. Okay. So this is the step to but this test for the one proportion population proportion. Oh, we call it one prop test. So you need to state the random variable and the parameter and words. Okay, so like x equal to number of success, p is proportion. Yes, it's only the step. Okay. So this is the example down here. This example is a concern was raised in Australia that the percentage of death of Aboriginal prisoners was higher than the percent of death of non-Aboriginal prisoners, which is 0.27%. Okay. So a sample of 6 years of data was collected, and it was found that out of 14,495 Aboriginal prisoners, 51 died. So 51 died, indigenous death in 1996. And we need to answer this question. Do the data provide enough evidence to show that the proportion of that of Aboriginal personnel is more than 0.27%. So the solution is you need to state what is the random variable and the parameter in the word set. So you can put x equal to the number of Aboriginal prisoners who die, and p is the proportion of the Aboriginal prisoner who die. Right? Okay, and so in this case, we need to state the null hypothesis and also the alternative hypothesis, and also we need to put the level of significance. Okay. And based on the example 7.5p, it is argued that the alpha is because we not sure, right, which is less significant or not. Okay, so we pick like in the middle here. Okay, so we could pick the alpha is like 0.05. Okay. And okay, let's see. So because you have a 0.27%, okay, so you need to change this to decimal, right? By dividing with 100. Okay, so you just need to move the dot twice. Okay, so you got, so if you have from here, if you change to decimal, so you need to move the dot twice, right? So 1, 2, 3. So the p equal to 0.0027. And our claim for the alternative hypothesis is p greater than 0.0027. And we know the random sample is 14,495. So this will be the n. And so all of this is so we assume this all of the personnel is Aboriginal. So you make sure you're not mixing the Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal. Okay. So in this case, you need to, so the p is equal to this one and the n equal to this, and the np you need to multiply it, so you can see the number is greater than 5. Okay. And the nq, the n multiplied with the q is 1 subtract with the p, right? And you got this one also greater than 5. Okay, so the sampling distribution for the p hat is normally distributed. Okay. Yes, you have to make sure this two number is greater than 5. Okay, so you can continue the hypothesis testing. And you need to find what is the sample statistics and the statistic and also the p-value. Okay, so the sample proportion here is the sample, in this case the sample statistic is the sample proportion, right? So you have x equal to 51, right? N equal to this. Okay. And the p hat or the p hat will be equal to this. Okay. And so you can find the p value using the TI calculator, and also you can use the R program. Okay, and also you can use the Excel that I put in the command as a template. So the interpretation here is because the p-value less than 0.05 or less than alpha 0.05, then we reject the hypothesis. Okay? So the conclusion will be that there is enough evidence to show that, yeah, because we reject the S naught, so the conclusion is maybe there is enough evidence to show that the proportion of that of Aboriginal personnel is more than for the non-Aboriginal prisoners. Okay, this is another example here, but in this case using the technology, okay, using the TI calculator. So this is the proportion test, and the next one is one sample test for the mean. Okay. Yeah, the process is similar. Okay, so in this case we need this. You need to find what is the so the distribution of the random variable is normal, or the sample size is 30 or more. Okay. So there are two conditions here that you need to follow. Okay. So first is a random sample of size is taken. So the sample has to be random sample. Okay. And then the B, the distribution should be the distribution of the random variable should be normal. Okay. Or the sample size is 30 or more. Okay. And using this formula to find the T distribution. Okay. And yeah, first is how to find the sample standard deviation using this formula. And you need to subtract sample size with 1. Okay. So this we call it the degree of freedom. Okay. So you can see here the difference between the difference of degree of freedom with the graph. Okay. So for example, like this is the standard normal. So as you have a degree of freedom 2, we will got this picture. If the degree of freedom is 1, we will got this picture. So the bigger the number is, will be closer to the standard normal distribution. So this is again the step for the population mean. Okay. And this is another example for the test of the mean using the formula. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, we will follow this step, okay, in order to solve our problem in OpenMath. Okay. Okay, let's go to my appointment now. Okay. So, do you have any questions so far?
No, sir.
Okay. Let me. Okay. Let me go to my appointment. Right. Okay. Should be done here. So you can see my screen, right? Okay. Yeah. So you can open the chapter 6. I mean the Excel for chapter 6 homework. This one. Let me see. I think look like I already downloaded here. Okay, so yeah, I will open in the. Okay, let me open. Yeah, so chapter 7 homework, right? Okay. Yeah, so number one, the problem already gave you the null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis. Okay. And your sample is consists of 148 students with 99 success. Okay. And now you need to find what is the statistics, and then you need to round up to decimal place. Okay. So what is the? Let me open the Excel. Okay. I think I already have it here. Uh, okay, so let me open the Excel here. Okay. Okay, let me go to. Okay, I think I need to upload it here. Download chapter 7. Okay, so so for number one, okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, it's an open file.
Yeah, so I put the Excel in let's call it in the Google spreadsheet. Okay, so let me share with you, okay, so you can. Yeah, I will give you the link. Okay, so in order to edit this, I think you need to copy it. Okay, I will do this. Okay, so make sure you copy it before you use it. Okay. Let me put in the chat. Yeah, let me put in the chat. Okay. So you can. Oops. Sorry, I think this is the correct one. Okay, so not the first one. Oops. Okay, so you click the second one. Okay, not the first one. I think the first one is not correct. The correct one. Okay, so for number one, okay. Yeah, I gave you the formula down here. This is. Yeah, okay, so number one, the sample proportion will be this one, right? We divide 89 with 166. Okay. And okay, you can find it using, you can put it here. Okay. So the formula is like this. The formula is, remember, this is the p hat, right? So start with the p divided by the square root of the p times the q. So if the p is 0.8, the q will be 1 subtract with 0.8, so you got 0.2, right? And then divide by the sample size again. Okay. So if you go back to your problem, 99 over 148, right? 99 over 148. So this one will be 99 148. And this one is the p. The p value is, I mean, sorry, not the p value. The p, the proportion of the that we test is this one, right? Okay. And then this will be 65, 0.65, okay. Because the P is 0.65, right? So, and then the Q will be 1 subtract with 0.55. Okay, you can type it like this. Okay, you can type it. Parenthesis 1 minus 0.55. Okay, and that's it. Yeah. So you can press enter. So that will be answer. Okay. You can put it here. You can copy and then paste it to the answer. Okay. How many decimal? 2 decimal. Okay, so we need to round up to 0.43. Yeah. Okay. And submit it. Oops. Let's see. 99 over 48. And this is 99 over 148. I think I made mistake here maybe. Okay, 99 over 148, right? Oh, I forgot this one. I forgot to change this one. Okay, so this one should be 148. Okay, so remember this. Okay, so this should be the answer now. So you round up to 2 decimal place. So your answer is 0.48, right? So this one should be 0.48. Okay, so you mix two of these is like this. Okay, so this is the X, this is the N, the sample size, and this is the P. This is the P again. This is the Q. So the Q is equal to 1 subtract with the P, right? And then divide by the sample size again. Okay. Okay, now let's go to number 2. Right? Click next question, or you can click this up here. Okay. Yeah, so this is simple. Okay. Remember, this always there is some equal sign here, but for the alternative hypothesis always greater than, not equal, or less than. Okay, so in this case it's greater than. Okay, so do you know what is the answer here? So you need to pay attention for the second one. Yeah, I mean the alternative hypothesis. Okay, so if the alternative hypothesis is greater than, the answer is Ratel test. Okay, so in this case it's Ratel test. So greater than. Let's see what this is in Excel. Yeah, in Excel it didn't tell you for number 2, okay? Because you assume this is you understand from the textbook. Okay, okay, let's go to number 3. Okay, let me submit it first here. So remember the greater than is right tail test. Okay, less than is left tail test. Okay. So depend on the head of the arrow. Okay. If the head of the arrow go to the right, so that means right tail test. If the head of the arrow for the alternative hypothesis go to the left, so this is a left tail test. Okay. If not equal, you call it two-tailed test. Okay, let's go to the second, the next problem. Number 3. Okay, so you already have the test statistic here. So in order to get to find the p-value, you just need to use the formula. Okay, in the Excel. So in this case, the z is okay. Oh yeah. Yeah, in order to find the p-value, is simply you need to find what is the test statistics, right? And the alpha here is 0.31. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so remember for the what do you call it, for the Google spreadsheet, you don't need to put the true, right? Okay, so in this case, the C is negative 1.269, right? Negative 1.269, and this is your answer. So you can copy this and then paste it here. So this is the formula you need to do. Okay. And for decimal place, so you need to run up to 4 decimal place. So this is it, right? Okay, so the next one.
On that question, whenever I take out the true part and press enter, it'll say that you've entered too few arguments for this function.
Oh, yes, you have to be careful. If you use the Excel in your computer, you have to put true. So if you use Excel in your computer, you have to put true. But if you use the Google spreadsheet that I show you here, you have to put, so you have to erase the true. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so let's go to the number 4. Okay, number 4. Okay, this is number 4, right? You're looking for the p-value. Okay, so this is here, so because you already have the test statistic here. Negative 1.624, right? So negative 1.624. Remember this, you don't need to put through, right? Okay, okay, yeah, you need to be careful also, yeah. Let's see. Okay, because this is a left tail test, right? Because left tail test, so you need to find only the value on the left of this. Okay. On the left statistics. Okay. So in this case, the p-value is not this one, but this should be the second one. Okay. So this one is you use is looking for the two-tail test, but this two-tail test. This one here, this is a for non-equal is two-tail test. But then your problem here is left-tail test, so you're simply using this one here. So remember what is 1.624, right? Negative 1.624. Negative 1.624. Okay, so the Excel is two-tail test, so that's why you need to multiply. The example for the Excel is two-tail test, so you need to multiply by 2. But in our problem here that I show you here, only left tail test. So that means you only looking for the p-value on the left of the test statistics. Okay, in this case is negative 1.624, right? Okay. So let me copy this and then paste it to our answer here. Let me see if I just simply submit it. Okay. You can see this unique output X for this in my place. Okay, so yeah, I think this one you can do, right? Okay, so next. Yeah, for this one, you need to find what is the p-value, right? So go number 5. Number 5. First is you need to find what is the test statistic here. Remember, you have to use the formula, right? Okay. So in this case, the x is 540, and the n is this. So this is x over n. This is the p. This is the p. This is the q, right? Which is 1 subtract with p, and this is the sample size again. Okay. So so for our problem here, the x is 55. The n is 145, right? So you need to change this one is 55, and then 145, and the p is 0.46, right? So 0.46. This is also 0.46, and you can use this 1 subtract with 0.46, right? And then divide by 145, right? Okay, so this is the test statistics. Okay, and for the p-value, yeah, it is error because you need to remove this one, right? If you use the Google spreadsheet, you don't need to put through. Okay, so I already put the formula there. I just need to change the statistic, and then you can get the p-value automatically, right? But in this case, the hypothesis test is greater than, so that means it's like a radial test. Okay.
Can you go back to the first so I can see what you put?
Yeah. So the first one is you need to put the x, the p, the x over the n, and then the p, and divide by the square root of the p times the q, and then divide by the n. Okay. Yeah. So you need to be careful here. Okay. For the p-value. For the p-value, in this example, the alternative hypothesis p greater than 0.77, right? So in this case, the problem is a radial test. Okay. So in order to find the p-value down here, because it's a radial test, right? Yes. So the number here should be graded positive. Okay, for the radial test. That's why I need to put negative here in order to find the area. Instead of looking for the area on the left, area on the right, I'm looking for area on the left. Okay, by putting the negative sign. Okay, because remember, area on the right the same as the area on the left, right? Let me show you the picture here. Yeah, you need to remember this from chapter 6. If you have normal distribution like this, so because this is symmetric, right? So because this symmetric, So this area will be the same as this one. Okay. So for the Rat-tail test, in order to find the area or the p-value, if you're looking for the area on the right, it's the same as you looking for the area on the left, right? So sorry. Okay. Yeah. So go back to the Excel. Yeah. So the problem in the Excel here is this one. This number should be greater than. Okay. So I mean positive. So in order to find the p-value, you need to put the negative sum, or you can subtract from 1. Okay. So for our problem, because it's negative already, right? So you don't need to put the negative sign here. Okay. You have to erase it. Because our problem also, here is, oh, sorry. For our problem here is not equal. So not equal, that means is two-tail test. Okay. So yeah, apparently our problem is also two-tail test. Okay. So let's see. Yeah, because our problem is two-tail test, right? So you need to multiply this by 2. Okay. So the p-value will be okay, I think we need to put the test first, right? Let me put this one first. How many decimal you need to put? 3 decimal. So for 3 decimal, so this will be 49 become 50, right? And the p-value will be, was two-tail test, so you need to multiply by 2, right? So the answer will be this one here. To multiply by 2, okay? This is two-tail test. Now you need to copy this and put in the answer. So how many decimal place you need to put? 4 decimal, okay. So up to here, right? Okay. And now you need to compare what is the alpha here. The alpha is 0.01 and the p-value is this one, right? So that means the p-value greater than alpha, okay. So the p-value greater than alpha. Because the alpha is 0.01, the p-value is this, so the p-value is greater than alpha, okay. If for greater than alpha, the answer is fail to reject. And the conclusion will be the last one here. There is not sufficient sample evidence to support the claim that the proportion of women over 40 who regularly have a mammogram is different from 0.46. Okay. So the conclusion only 2 here. If accept the null hypothesis, not accept, sorry. Only reject or fail to reject. Okay. So if reject, the answer will be the third one. this one. If failed, the answer will be the fourth one. Yeah, okay. So any question? If you don't have any question, let me continue with the next one. Okay. One number 6. Yeah, again, you need to find what is the, okay, what is the p-value, right? So in this case, you need to divide 161 over 413. Oh, you have many problems. Okay, so number 6, right? Yeah, so the p-value is, not p-value, sorry. The p will be equal to 161 over 413. Okay, hold on. The p here is based on the number here. Okay, sorry. The one that I'm talking about is you divide this one with this one. They call it the p hat. Okay, not the p. That the p here is, the proportion here is 26%. So 26 over 100, right? For the Excel. And for the problem that we have is 34%. So that means it's 34 over 100. Okay? 34 over 100. And we need to scroll down here. So observe that this were classified as only, so the claim is based on the percentage here. Yeah, so the claim here is equal, right? So that's why the answer is two-tailed test, okay? Let's see here. So the claim is this one here. It was observed that 34% of the students in the Clement school were classified as only children, no sibling. So that means that the null hypothesis is equal. So the alternative hypothesis will be not equal or two-tailed test, okay? So the answer is two-tailed test. And this one is 34 over 100 is 0.34, right? Okay. Yeah, okay, so this one here. 34 over 100. This is two-tailed test, so that means because it's two-tailed test, so the answer will be the one that's not equal here. So the answer is B, okay. And now you need to find what is the test statistics. Okay. Again, you need to use this formula. Okay. So you need to use this formula. What is the number that you need to put there? First, you need to put what is the x, right? The x is 161. 161 over 413. 161 over 413. And this one is 34, right? 0.34, right? And this one is 0.34. And this one will be 1 subtract with 0.34. I think you need to put another parenthesis here. And then enter. Okay, so I need to change also this one is 430, right?
Is it better to use that Google instead of the Excel?
It's up to you, yeah.
Because on mine, on the Excel, it has a different formula that you have.
Okay. No, it should be the same formula, but so you need to change the number, yeah.
Well, like on the after the it says like where you have 0.34 times 1 minus 0.34.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
have that.
Yeah, actually this one is the one in the Excel is already calculated, okay. But in this case, is I didn't calculate it. Okay. Yeah, it's up to you. Yeah. You know, the second part here, the Q, it's the same as 1 subtract with 134, right? So you can also, if you don't want to use this formula, you can use this one here. So you just need to put what is here. If you subtract this with, I mean, if you subtract 1 from, I mean, if you subtract 0.34 from 1, so you have what? You have 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the same thing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's up to you. If you want, you just simply change the formula to 1 subtract with 0.34 parentheses, right? And then enter. Yeah. So in the Excel also you can do like this. Okay. Just you need to put 1 minus 0.34. Okay.
But it would be 0.28 times 0.28.
What do you have?
Well, my number is 28 instead of 34.
Oh yeah. So for your problem will be you have this one will be 0.28 and this one will be 0.28 and then time 1 subtract with 0.28. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's to be the correct answer. I mean, the correct formula. And okay, here, because our problem is a two-tailed test, right? And you can see here, this number is like on the right side of the, what do you call it? On the right side of the picture, right? I mean, the 0, right? Because it's positive. Okay? So in order to find what is the area on the left, so you need to subtract from 1. Okay. This is what the formula like this. Okay. So yeah, there are two ways. Okay, you can subtract from 1, or you simply change this z. I mean, change this to negative. Okay, so you will get the same number. Okay, I will say again. So you can do this one also. Also, you can do this. You can do norm. Yeah, okay. Also, you can use this negative of this, and then times 2. So you got the same answer. Okay. So you can start from 1, multiply by 2, or you can change the sign and multiply by 2. Okay. So this is the same thing. Because for this one, you need to, you're looking for the area on the left. and then multiply by 2. And the same thing for this one. If you put negative here, so you're looking for RE on the left, and then multiply by 2. Okay, let me put the number here. So for the Z-score will be, I mean the statistic will be, okay, so auto run here. Right? Okay, this, how many decimal you need to put? 3 decimal, okay. So 3 decimal, so it's going to be 8, right? And okay, and then what is the p-value? The p-value is the one that you put here. Sorry. Okay, you can copy this one or copy this one at the same time, right? Okay. Okay, so the answer will be, the p-value will be this one here. And you need to put 4 decimal place, so this will become, yeah, that's it, right? Okay, let's see. Something else. No, we got the answer. Okay, so now you need to compare what the p-value with the alpha, right? The alpha here is 0.05. The p-value is 0.03. So that means the p-value less than, right? For less than, we reject the null hypothesis. Okay? So we reject the null hypothesis. So because we reject the null hypothesis, so the answer will be the third one here. Yeah, the one in the Excel is fail to reject. Okay. Because the alpha is greater than, I mean the p-value greater than alpha. Oh, sorry. The p-value less than alpha. But in our case, yeah, in the Excel the p-value greater than alpha. That's why we say fail to reject, right? But in our case, in our problem here, less than alpha. So we say that fail to reject. Okay? So fail to reject. That's right. For less than is reject the null hypothesis. For greater than, if the p-value greater than alpha, you have to, if greater than fail to reject, as less than is reject. Okay. So reject the null hypothesis if the p-value less than alpha, and fail to reject if the p-value greater than alpha. Yeah, you have to remember only two things. Okay, so reject the null hypothesis if the p-value less than alpha. Fail to reject the null hypothesis if the p-value greater than alpha. And the conclusion is only this two here. If reject, the conclusion will be the sample data support the assertion or the claim. Right? If fail to reject, the conclusion will be there is not sufficient sample evidence to support the claim. Okay, so what do you have here? 38, 1038. Okay. So we still have 11 minutes, I think. Okay. So let me continue with the next one. Okay. Yeah, so this one is simply, what is the sample proportion? Yeah, so the sample proportion will be 54/25, right? Yeah, 54/125. Because in this case, in the SL is 10 pennies and 44 head, right? So that's why you put like 44 of 100. But in our case, is you have 54 and 125, right? Okay. So that this will be our 4%. 0.423, 0.423. And what is the claim here? So because the may not give head until equal possibility, right? So the claim here will be, okay, yeah, so because the claim here, is this the sample evidence that the probability of head and tail are different? So because the claim is different, so the test will be the tail test, right? And because head or tail has the, because only two possibilities, so the probability of the proportion will be 0.5, okay. And because this two tail test, so the answer should be this one, okay. Not equal and then equal for the alternative hypothesis. And so the Z value, the same thing, you need to find it is using that formula again. Oh, okay, see here. So you have 54/125. Okay, 54/125. 125. And because you have a P 0.5, so the Q also 0.5, right? Okay. And you need to change this one is to the 125. Okay, so this is the test statistic will be this one. Okay. And you need to run that to this two decimal place, so the answer will be this one here. Oops. So 54 over say, I think that's make mistake there. Remember the null hypothesis has to be equal, right? Okay. And the alternative hypothesis is not equal. Okay. I think I made a mistake on that. Okay. I don't know what this is on here. Let me see. You have 54 over 125, right? 54 over 125. 54 over 125. 54 over 125. Yeah, I don't know what this is on. Maybe I type wrong. Okay, maybe, yeah, I think I'm type it in with the wrong number. So. Yeah, I think this is I think I make mistake here. Yeah, it should be 0.43. I mean 0.432, not 0.23, 23, 0.423, not. Right. It should be 0.432, not 0.423. Okay. Okay, so let's continue with the next one. Yeah, so this one is like a basic understanding for the hypothesis testing. Okay. So in this case, the population will be all individual, right? And the variable being assigned individual is in the population, it will be whether or not what is variable? Yeah, whether or not take drug or get headache, right? Okay. And the categorical or quantitative, I think the answer is categorical, right? Got headache or not, right? Okay. And then identify the parameter. So the parameter will be this one we're talking about. Yeah, so this one should be this one. And the identify the we think proportion, right? So proportion of this. What is the claim? The claim is population proportion, right? Comparing population proportion. Okay. So I think this one. Right? Yeah, let's see. Okay, so this will make a mistake again. So it should be this one. Okay. So the first, so the null hypothesis has to be not equal to. Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so to be not equal. Okay, so to be this one. Oops. 0.05. Let's see. More than. Okay, so because it's more than. Okay, so sorry. Because it's more than, so that means it's greater than. Okay, so the answer should be this one here. Yeah, so because more than, so that means it's have to be greater than. Okay, so what is the next one? I think we ran out of time, right? Okay. So we can continue for the next Thursday.